Hello guys, Edgar with Guardian Arms here. What I have for you today is another video on the Rapid Force Duty Holster by Alien Gear. You probably don't know about this holster because it hasn't been on the market for too long. It's a new holster and it was designed for military and law enforcement. About a couple weeks ago I got my hands on this holster and decided to start testing it to see how it would hold up. A couple weeks ago a fellow instructor and I tested the most important function of this holster, and that function was retention. Any duty holster designed for law enforcement use needs to come with some serious retention, just based on the dangers that a police officer might face on his daily routine. That being said, we put this thing through the ringer. We pulled on it, we tugged on it, we tried our hardest to make this thing fail. We went through multiple scenarios where a police officer might be in a fight for life type situation, having to retain his firearm, and this thing lived up to its name. Honestly, on that day this thing was stronger than we were, and that's a good thing if you're carrying this holster. Moving forward, this holster is a level 3 retention holster. First level of retention obviously being the firearm in the holster. Second level of retention being the hood. The hood has a thumb release on it that when you push, it shoots the hood forward, and then you have your locking mechanism. You pull this lever here, releases the locking mechanism, and your firearm can come out. If you honestly run it all simultaneously, it makes for a quick draw. This holster, I've had it paired with my Glock 17 Gen 4. This weapon is clear. There are no live rounds around me whatsoever. It's common practice for me not to have any live ammunition when I'm working with a firearm in the home. This firearm is equipped with a Surefire X300 tactical light, night vision suppressor height sights, and a Trigicon RMR Type 2. So far, the pairs have worked together great. There have been no snags, no problems, no red flags whatsoever. So if you are running a similar platform, or you have a SIG or a Smith & Wesson, which Alien Gear also makes Rapid Force holsters for, you should be fine. I mean, like I said, I have had no problems with the type of weapon and the add-ons that I'm running, and it's been great. For my second round of testing, I tested the Rapid Force holster in multiple simulations where I might find myself in a lethal force encounter. My day on the range started off with just getting used to the holster. I conducted some draws and reholstering drills till I got comfortable enough behind the holster to start running at a higher pace. The first thing that stood out to me with the Rapid Force Duty holster was that it didn't take long to get comfortable and proficient with it. Alien Gear has what they call GMR, patent pending technology, embedded into this holster. GMR stands for Gross Motor Response. Honestly, the holster is very ergonomic and not hard to use. I did notice this holster was easier to draw from than my Safariland 6360 holster when I first started using it. As a firearms instructor, I've noticed some officers that aren't considered gun guys or gun girls struggle a little bit when they first transfer over from a conventional holster. The Rapid Force holster is something I would recommend to an agency thinking about going to red dots as a primary or secondary option. It doesn't hurt to have a good holster when it makes it easier for all officers to carry comfortably. So after getting used to the holster for a little bit, I decided to see how it would hold up with some rapid draws. I conducted some contact drills from an interview stance, simulating a subject or a perpetrator suddenly pulling a firearm on me and me having to go from a field contact to a lethal encounter. During rapid draws, the holster did fine. It had no snags, the weapon didn't get caught. The draws from this position were actually really smooth, as you'll see here. drills, I did have approximately about 2 bad draws. That was user error. I let go of the thumb release too early, but we're talking about 2 bad draws over approximately 200 draws. After contact draws, I moved into drawing Old Faithful from being on my back, simulating an officer down scenario, or shooting from behind cover, and I did not have any malfunctions. I wanted to see how this holster would hold up with one-handed manipulations. As a firearms instructor, I stress to my students to train for the possibility of losing function of a limb. If you're in a gunfight and you take a round, chances are the part of your body that took the impact of the round is not going to work properly. So having a good holster you can work with one-handed might save your life. As previously stated, you might not always have both arms to work with if you've been hit. So it's best to become proficient and effective one-handed. The Rapid Force holster took 0 effort to work with in this scenario. Old Faithful was able to fit in the holster out of battery with ease. As the day progressed, I drew from a variety of positions, ranging from drawing as I walked, drawing from a seated position, and drawing while on the run. The Rapid Force holster performed like any respectable duty holster should. It was very reliable. So overall, the Rapid Force duty holster is doing quite well. It's holding its own against the Safariland 6360, and it's giving it a run for its money. Being that we're on that subject, the Rapid Force duty holster, as equipped how you see it here, is only about $155, which is, I think, fairly priced. Before we go today, there is one thing I want to talk about. To all my fellow police officers out there who are skeptical about trying a new holster, I'll tell you firsthand, I think it's worth a shot. I know that we are loyal to the gear that we've been wearing for a while, and most of us don't really like change when it comes to the gear that we have, but this holster surprised me when I first got my hands on it. I didn't know what to think about it, but I've had it for a few weeks now. I've been putting it through multiple scenarios, and it's holding up. So if you're on the fence about it, give it a try. Again, it's going to fit most duty platforms. It's definitely, like you've seen before, if you haven't seen it, go check out the video. The retention on it is second to none, and overall it's a good product. So until the next video, guys, take care of yourselves. I'll see you later. Bye.
Flash.